the second. 2 years removed from losing 100, the Rangers have won the pennant.
The Texas Rangers are headed back to the World Series for the first time in more than a decade.
Game 7 of the ALCS was a drubbing. Now the team will turn its focus toward winning its first ever World Series championship.
Here for you. Fox 4 News starts now.
Hello, everybody. I'm Heather Hayes.
And I'm Steve Eager. Pretty exciting night around here. Glad you got to watch it. The Rangers scored first and then kept scoring. Corey Seager with a home run on the 4th pitch of the game. That is blasted. Upper deck. Boom. It only got worse for Houston. Fox 4's Jeff Kolb starts our team coverage of the Game 7 blowout that sends the Rangers to the World Series. Jeff.
Guys, these Texas Rangers are writing one of the greatest baseball stories we've seen in some time. It bears repeating. This franchise came into the year on the heels of 6 straight losing seasons, had only won 4 playoff series in their 51-year history, and tonight they knock out the defending World Series champs, their rivals, the Houston Astros, in a pivotal Game 7. Our Mike Ducey joins me live from Minute Maid Park now. Mike, we talked pregame. You didn't know what to expect heading into this one. To knock out your rival like that in this situation has to be one of the sweetest wins for Dallas sports fans in recent memory.
Yeah, exactly, Jeff. I think it might be the most satisfying win in Texas Rangers history for their fan base. They beat the Yankees in the ALCS to get them to the World Series for the first time. But this one, with this rivalry and the intensity and the way it built even during the course of this series, and to win it here at Minute Maid, again, incredibly satisfying for the Ranger players, obviously manager Bruce Bochy, the GM Chris Young, and so many Ranger fans who still stuck around in this ballpark. There were more Ranger fans here for Game 7 than there had been in the previous games, and they were enjoying every bit of the post-game ceremonies that just wrapped up. We talked in the pregame. You know, I thought Max Scherzer was going to have a really solid outing for the Rangers to have a chance in this game. I could not have been more wrong because he didn't last long. Scherzer was only around 2 2/3 innings, gave up a couple of runs. Jordan Montgomery came in and relieved him well. As it turns out, it was the offense that did everything for Texas tonight. An offense that for most of the year in baseball had been the best in the major leagues, and that offense was back this evening. Seager, as you saw, got things started with that home run, but Adolis Garcia was the story, the American League Championship Series MVP, with a series record 15 runs driven in and a couple of more home runs tonight, and a revenge story unlike many you will ever see in sports or anywhere else, as Garcia gets the last laugh and then some against the Astros. An 11-4 pounding. Rangers on to the World Series for the first time since 2011. And it opens in Arlington coming up this weekend. Jeff?
It's going to be something. Adolis Garcia, what a story. Corey Seager called him a bad man after taking in all the boos and doing what he did in that ballpark. Mike, much more to get to with Garcia. The other storylines from this one. With this win, the Rangers 8-0 on the road in these playoffs. The only other team to ever accomplish that, the '96 Yankees, who knocked out the Rangers on their way to winning the whole thing. Let's take a look back at how the Rangers got things done here tonight. Last Wednesday, Christian Javier took a no-hitter against the Rangers into the 5th inning. He had only given up 4 hits in 10 innings this postseason, but would give up 4 hits to the Rangers in the 1st inning alone. The first one, the no-doubter from Corey Seager to make it 1-0. After Evan Carter walks and then steals second, he comes home on the Adolis wall ball single to make it 2-0. Not ideal hustle out of the box from Adolis, but he would then steal second and then score on Mitch Garver's single. And it's 3-zip Rangers just like that. And Javier is done. After 23 pitches, Dusty Baker gets him. He only got 1 out. Max Scherzer took the loss in Game 3 last Wednesday, but said he felt good. First inning here, gives up the RBI single to Jose Abreu, but would then strand 2 Astros to get out of the jam. Top third, Hunter Brown in to pitch for Houston. Garcia the other way. Homers for the 4th game in a row, and it's 4-1. Rangers in control. Bottom 3, Scherzer makes a mistake. Alex Bregman makes him pay, but just a solo shot. and it's a 4-2 ball game. Scherzer, done after getting just 8 outs on 44 pitches. Top 4, bases loaded for Carter, puts one just down the right field line in fair territory. 2 more Rangers come in. It's 6-2 Texas. Next batter, Garcia, through the left side this time. Seager, Carter, they're burning their ways home. It's 8-2. Garcia, the first player in playoff history with 20 RBIs before the World Series. Top 6, the not yet suspended Brian Abreu, serving up the 2-run homer to Nathaniel Lowe. It's 10-2. And then top 8. Why not? Adolis. He went 4 for 5 in the game, finishes the series with the 5 homers, 10 hits, the 15 ribbies, as Mike mentioned. Garcia, the obvious MVP choice, as the Rangers scored 20 runs in 24 hours to knock out the Astros 11-4 and make it back to the World Series.
I want to say thank God, thank to my family, all the fans. This team right here, we are a family, and they push me every day to play hard. And that's why I just made adjustment today, just try to don't do too much. And if it's not for the love of all my teammates, man, this can be possible.
Boats, you're going back to the World Series, baby.
Unbelievable, unbelievable. I tell you what, I couldn't be more honored to manage such a great team like this. I mean, you know, for CY to call me last November, I didn't know if I'd get back in or not, and here I am. I know how blessed I am, but I can't thank these guys enough. Ray Davis with his commitment. CY from the get-go had his vision. Here we are.
Boach, you were talking about it. You know, the last regular season series, a lot of teams, it could have hurt them and it could have gone the other way. It galvanized this team, that trip to Seattle. How did you do it? How did you come back from that to get and win a pennant?
Well, they've done it all year. We've had our streaks. We've had our injuries. They keep getting up. And, you know, to come in here and beat such a great club like Houston, and congrats on their year, but it's great to be wearing the horns in Texas.
I can't explain how proud I am of this group, our coaching staff, our entire organization. We've had some hard times recently. Those are over. These players have deserved this. They've brought us to where we are now. Boach, you came out of retirement for this. I love you all. We're going to keep going.
All right, some reaction there. Mike back with me now. So, Deuce, you touched on it off the top. This was all the offense, right? You know, over the first 5 games in this series, the Rangers, they scored 19 total runs. They then turn around and score 20 runs in these last 2 must-win games. Tonight's offensive explosion, just ridiculous. We've said this all along. This offense good enough to take the Rangers all the way, right?
And that's what we thought for most of the year, because for most of the year, the Rangers led Major League Baseball in runs scored. I think they ended up finishing 3rd in the regular season. But then at times, this offense went really quiet here in the postseason, and we talked repeatedly about the trouble at the top of the order with Simeon and Seager. Seager snapped out of it a bit tonight, but as good as Garcia was, again, for a lot of the year, 2nd in the league in RBIs in the regular season, nobody saw this kind of American League Championship series coming from Adolis Garcia, but he delivered, and delivered in a big way. And when they could get homers like they did last night from Garver and Heim, and, you know, tonight maybe signs that Nathaniel Lowe is finding a little something at the plate as well. For a good part of the year, we talked about how from top to bottom this lineup could hurt you from 1 through 9 for the Rangers. If they get it back into that kind of territory, they could really be tough here in the next series.
Yeah, when you have guys like
the World
Lowe
Series, by the way.
Yeah. Well, when it counts the most. Yeah, when you have guys like Lowe and Tavares and others contributing down in that lineup, this team's almost unbeatable. You think about the big 3 in the lineup, Mike: Corey Seager, Marcus Simeon. They are worth a cool $500 million between them. Back in March, Adolis Garcia, he signed a 1-year contract extension for a whopping $747,000. That has to be the best bargain in all of baseball. He was an all-star this year, 39 homers, 107 RBIs in the regular season. And really, Mike, he's become the face of this incredible playoff run.
Garcia starts the 3rd.
And they said it on the telecast that unless you're an Astros fan, it's hard to watch Adolis Garcia and not kind of be inspired by looking at the joy with which he plays the game of baseball. I mean, you know, he's just a really impressive looking athlete, number one, but he enjoys every minute of it out there. And, you know, the Astros thought he enjoyed that initial home run a little bit too much, and they plunked him later on in the game, and a lot of stuff came out of that. But again, Garcia has really become, you know, a superstar, a nationwide superstar now over the last couple of days, just because of, you know, the scuffle that happened. But now, you know, what he's been able to do at the plate with this incredible run production, it's really been something to watch. And Ranger fans aren't that surprised because, as I said, all year long, he's been driving in runs for this team.
What an amazing player, and not just with the bat. I mean, he's been a tremendous fielding outfielder, all the outfield assists as well. He's due for a bigger contract after this fall. His skipper, Bruce Bochy, Mike, now the first manager ever to lead 3 different teams to the World Series. He brought the Padres there in '98, lost, brought the Giants there in 2010, of course, won his first ring over this Rangers franchise in 5 games, went on to win 2 more titles with San Francisco. This isn't the first time Bochy's broken Dusty Baker's heart in the playoffs either, and boy, has Boch just pushed so many right buttons in this whole run.
I remember talking to Bruce Bochy the day he was introduced as manager of the Rangers out at the ballpark, and obviously I was very familiar with his work. His Giants beat the Rangers in the 2010 World Series in 5 games, but you're just struck by Bochy's presence when you talk to him, and just he's the kind of guy that players, you know, want to play for and want to go to battle for, so to speak, because he treats them like grown-ups. He treats them like men. He allows them to do their jobs. He doesn't interfere. He's not a manager who spends any time in the clubhouse. That's the players' area. You'll find Bochy in his office if you need to talk to him. But yeah, in terms of strategy, there's always going to be room to criticize a manager, and there were times late in the year as this division lead dwindled and the Rangers eventually lost the division on the last day that the Twitterverse went after Bochy pretty good. But yeah, here in the postseason and in this league championship series, ultimately, you know, the way he's handled the bullpen, just the way it's worked out with little tweaks to the lineup, the way he's gotten this kid Evan Carter in the right place at the right time, it's hard to argue with where we find this ball club and with the work that Bruce Bochy has done to get it here. And not only did it become managing the tenuous bullpen in this run, but then Max Scherzer and this incredible comeback. I think we could both agree, like you said, you know, we expected Scherzer would need to go deeper into this game. I'm sure he wanted to go deeper into this game, but he didn't really fight Bochy when Bruce came to get the ball in the 3rd inning. You know, even though Max only winds up getting 8 outs, he did do a whole lot more than Christian Javier, of course, for the Astros. And most importantly, I think for Scherzer, he's still healthy, hasn't re-injured himself, multiple injuries that he's dealt with all year. I think, Mike, he can be very dangerous as a wild card going forward for the Rangers in this World Series. If Max Scherzer can be the Max Scherzer that will go into the Hall of Fame someday, the Rangers have a great shot against either the Phillies or the Diamondbacks. Yeah, it's just I can't really get a read on him right now, though, Jeff, to be honest, and I'm not sure many people can. I was surprised that Bochy pulled him from the game as early as he did, and I expected there to be maybe some sort of physical issue, but as you said, that doesn't appear to be the case. Scherzer's just, you know, hasn't been back that long from the injury that kept him out for weeks and weeks and weeks, so I guess maybe we should expect this. I tweeted something that was sort of misconstrued by some when Montgomery replaced Scherzer, said something to the effect, this isn't the trade deadline acquisition that the Rangers had planned to help save the season. Wasn't really a knock on Scherzer. This is a guy who's tried to pitch a couple of times now since coming back from the injury. I was just noting that Montgomery, ironically, happened to be the trade deadline acquisition who has been more effective and has really sometimes carried this team on his back or his left arm, if you would, and he gave him some valuable innings tonight as well in relief.
Yeah, to think what Montgomery, Evaldi, and Scherzer still giving something have been able to do for this rotation that lost DeGrom, who was supposed to be your guy in this moment so early in the season after signing the big offseason contract. Just incredible how this team has, as Corey Seager said in the postgame, just been so resilient to get to this point, get through the defending world champs. Much more with Mike coming up here on our post-game coverage. We switch gears now to the watch party at Globe Life Field in Arlington, where the people went wild when the Rangers recorded the final out to send them back to the World Series for the third time. Fox 4's Amelia Jones joins us live from outside the ballpark. And Amelia, last Friday night, we remember lots of sadness was flowing out of Globe Life after the Rangers fell down 3-2 to Houston in the series. What have you been seeing there outside the ballpark tonight so far?
Oh, Jeff, it is a completely different type of energy. People are still celebrating. We're inside Globe Life Field where fans are still hanging out. Some of them getting that brand new gear that just became available. We've got some fans saying, "Let's go Rangers," of course. And I want to point out that this was the largest watch party here inside Globe Life Field. Over 2,000 people bought a ticket, and with every single score, their cheers and chants got louder. And they loved every single minute of this game, especially when it became official that the Rangers are headed to the World Series. Right out of the gate, a home run from Corey Seager, and that just set the momentum for this game. And by the fourth inning, the Rangers had a solid lead over the Astros, and just run after run, the crowd here at Globe Life Field got louder. And these fans, they never lost hope that the Rangers would win and bring the pennant back to Arlington.
Oh, it's great. It's wonderful. We went to a couple of the games in 2010, 2011. Didn't turn out well, but one of the
this is gonna be.
What was that?
Different.
They're gonna win this time.
Yeah.
And why do you think that? Why are you so confident in this team?
Because they have worked so hard, and they've struggled, and they're determined.
I'm excited. I've been coming with my grandpa right there since a kid, and now we're back here. I'm back with them.
Oh my gosh, I couldn't stand still. But all I do is like, oh my gosh, we need this, we got it. So we're going to the World Series, baby! Woo! In your face, Astros!
I think that last soundbite really said it all. That is how every Rangers fan is feeling. I saw in Houston that fans started to leave early. I want you to know that every Rangers fan here tonight stood up in their seat until that final out. They were not going to miss this. They wanted to make sure that they experienced it all up until that very last second. And we'll see who the Rangers are going to face in the World Series. But after talking with fans, whoever it is, fans believe that this is the team that is ready to take on any challenge. Jeff, back to you.
In your face, Houston. That's the line. Amelia Jones, great reporting from inside Globe Life Field. Let's hear from some more Rangers players now. Nathaniel Lowe, Josh Spores after the Game 7 victory.
The record speaks for itself this year. You know, we got a great group together. We won the American League, so there's not a whole lot else to say about that. You know, this group fought all the way to the end. From the beginning of spring training, we believed we could do this thing, and now here we are with a chance to compete for a World Series title. We had a tough test there at the end of the regular season. You know, the division didn't go the way we wanted to, but the league did, and we got our eyes set on bigger things.
Felt great, you know, this game 7 is everything on the line, and, you know, it's good to do it here.
Can you describe kind of how you guys have come together over this past month?
Just being calm the whole time, you know, I don't think we ever felt pressured. We always knew we had a good offense, good defense, good starters, and the bullpen showed up.
Do you feel like you guys were able to come together more as a group because of the adversity that you faced?
Yeah, I think the pressure brought us closer, and I think it made us more comfortable in the situations that we were in.
All right, so Amelia touched on it. Now the Rangers are waiting to see who from the National League they will face. The NLCS going to a Game 7 tomorrow between Arizona and Philadelphia. Texas, either way, has home field advantage. Game 1, Friday night at Globe Life Field. Fox 4 will, of course, get you ready for the series all week long. We have much more Rangers post-game coverage to come here tonight on Fox 4. Our Sam Gannon is in the clubhouse for a champagne party. We'll get her interviews, plus more post-game pressers, and a lot more to break down from this massive Game 7 win for the Rangers, headed back to the World Series for the third time ever.
Yeah, it's interesting, Jeff. First time they'll have home field advantage. 2010 and 2011 was when they came up with that brilliant idea. The All-Star game would choose the home field advantage. If the American League or the National League wanted, dumbest thing ever, and they got rid of it. Anyway, they'll have home field advantage this time. That's great. Thank you, Jeff.